there's been, with this job can come a lot of cool things, okay? Meeting different athletes and people, you know, picking up some jewelry once in a while. You know, I'm also very fortunate I have my name on the Stanley Cup. So, you know, and as a little kid growing up in Boston, playing hockey and idolizing the Bruins, I still, even right now, I kind of got the shivers a little bit because it's still 20 years after it happened, I still get humbled that I have my name on that trophy. And, you know, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing, you know, so you definitely, there are definitely perks to this job and stuff like that. You work very hard. You don't get paid a lot when you start. But if you can make it through and rise up through the ranks, there's some pretty cool things you can be a part of. And, you know, if you can get lucky, so I worked 16 years with professional teams and we won one championship. I know guys that have worked for pro teams for 40 years and they've never won a championship. You know, but then I know the guys at the New England Patriots and they've got enough rings they can't even wear them all. So, you know, you just, sometimes you get lucky just being in the right place at the right time with the right team. What else? Yes?
Can you explain like more about the bidding process and your role involved in it?
Sure. So, we just went through a huge bid process last fall for 4 major events. The 2026 World Cup, the NCAA Men's Final Four, the NCAA Women's Final Four, and WrestleMania. So, I'll start with the World Cup. Our World Cup bid, when you count all the pages of contracts and stuff, was well over 600 pages. And it has information such as hotel information, airport information, transportation, security, anything you can think of surrounding an event. The actual event venue, which will be AT&T Stadium. And then you've got to give city information, the history of soccer within your city, different things like that. So we submitted that to the United Bid Committee. They were kind of the organization that collected it from all the different cities. There's 23 cities involved right now in the North American bid for 2026. It's going to get cut down to about, I think, 14 in 2020. So we have to wait 2 more years before Dallas is officially named a city to host matches. So we submit that, and there's a lot of pre-meetings and things before you submit the bid. To actually compile the bid's about a 6-month process. We had to go down to Houston for meetings with the United Bid Committee. Then we had to work with the city of Dallas, the city of Arlington, the Cowboys for the stadium, DFW Airport, Love Field. We had to work with all these entities and get everybody on board. And then compile all the information required and then send in the bid. So on June 13th, in Russia, when the World Cup started, they had the vote and they picked the North American bid. Now the good thing about that is Dallas is in a very good position. So the morning of the bid, I'm watching it on the live FIFA stream at 5 a.m. because it's whatever time it was in Russia, noontime or something. And before they vote, the lady that is from FIFA is reviewing some stuff on a screen about the bid to the voting members. And the screen pops up on your computer screen, and I don't know if they meant to do it or not, but it had a row of the North American bid and the Morocco bid. And it said cities proposed for semifinal matches, cities proposed for final matches. Dallas was the only city on both lists. So that's how much the United Bid Committee thought and thinks of Dallas. So is it a guarantee? No, it's not. We still have a lot of work to do in the next 2 years. And we probably, but to be on those 2 lists was pretty felt pretty good. For the final, I think it was MetLife Stadium in New York where the Giants and Jets play, AT&T, and the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles. And then for the semifinals, I think it was at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, AT&T, I want to say FedEx Field in Washington, and then it was, I can't remember the fourth one. So it was pretty good that we were on both those lists, but we have to wait until late 2020 or early 21 before we even find out about it. But think about it, this is 2018, we started working on this bid in 2017, and the event's in 2026. That's a 9-year window we're working on this event. So that's how much time it sometimes requires from the start of the bid process to the event. WrestleMania, WWE, we had 2016, WrestleMania was out at Jerry World. We have a bid in for it again out there. WWE set their all-time attendance record here. They set their all-time merchandise sales record here. They set records for every event selling out the fastest for WrestleMania here. They loved it here. They want to come back. We're hoping to get them back sometime around 22, 23. We haven't heard for sure yet. They're still in the middle of their bid process. Women's Final Four. We had an NCAA here in July for what's called a site visit. They tour hotels, they tour the arena, they tour the city, and we show them the different places that are, venues that are involved in our bid. We have a contingent from Dallas going to Tampa, Florida on September 19th to make a final, you get 1 hour to make a final presentation to the Women's Basketball Committee for the NCAA. There are 7 cities bidding for 4 years between the years 2022 and 2025. So again, we're working 4 to 7 years out. And we'll find out late September, early October if that comes back. We just had the Women's Final Four here last year in 2017. Sold out both sessions, huge hit, huge success. So depending on what those events are, my duties vary from event to event. So for the Women's Final Four, I was in charge of ticket sales for a local standpoint. And we narrowed it down to, we had to sell out the upper level of AAC. Because the lower level was gonna sell no problem. The challenge was the 7,000 seats in the upper level. And what different strategies, what different outside the box thinking could we do? So we did different things. We got a replica NCAA championship trophy and we took it everywhere. I mean, we were Nancy Lieberman's basketball camp over at the field house. We were at Baylor games in Waco. We were at UT games in Austin. We were up at OU. Just to try to get that exposure out there to get people to know that it's coming and you can buy tickets. We did a ticket deal where we took the top 3 rows on the end zone at AAC in the upper level. And we called it Finals Fanatics. Sit where all the real fans sit. $99 for all 3 games. You got a $10 food voucher. You got some other stuff thrown in with it. Sold that out within a month or 2. When that was all that was on sale. Everybody's waiting for good seats. But people bought the deal. We had the regional here in 16 the year before, so I came up with a deal that if you buy tickets to the regionals in 16, you get priority for the Final Four in 17. NCAA had never done it before. We did it. We gave them a 1-day window to buy tickets before the general public, and it was huge. It worked out great. So there are different things for different events that we do. Some we have ticket responsibilities. For the NFL draft back in April, I was in charge of all local advertising. So if you saw a billboard, if you saw it on a bus, if you saw it on a DART train, if you saw it on TV, if you heard it on the radio, if you saw it anywhere on social, if you saw it on, if you saw it on the side of the Omni lights, that was all me putting that package together. 17 different marketing vendors. $2 million package to promote the draft and the fan experience that was outside the park. So there's a lot of different things depending on the size of the event that we do. But to circle back to the original thing about the bid process, some bids can take a month, some bids can take 6 to 8 months to put together, depending on the size and scale of the event. But that's how far out we're working on these types of bids.
How do you work with the other sports commissions? You all work together in Arlington and Frisco and things like that?
Oh, you mean locally?
Locally, yeah.
Okay. We have a very good relationship, because Dallas is spread out and our venues are in different cities. We have a very good relationship with the Cowboys as far as AT&T Stadium and Star. We work very well with the city of Arlington and their sports people. We take the lead on a lot of the bid process. They just help out. Same with Frisco. Frisco does a great job with all the little things they have here. Minor league teams and, the Rattlers and stuff like that. They do a great job with that type of stuff. They're making inroads in some other areas too. They've got a bowl game here now that's played over at Toyota Stadium. So, if you take the North Texas area as a whole, there's something for everybody here between all of our different cities. And we all understand that put it this way, if it doesn't come to Dallas, I want it somewhere near Dallas. That's our attitude. We all work together to make sure we get it here in the area. Yes?
So I don't know if this had to do with y'all or not, that's what I'm asking. When the Rangers announced they were gonna build a new stadium in Dallas, tried to bring them in, Dallas and Arlington work together, was that y'all that was?
So we weren't working together on that one.
Okay. I was just curious.
No. So what happened was the city of Dallas, and especially Mayor Rawlings, made some statements about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now, that when the lease was up at the ballpark in Arlington to try to build a stadium in Dallas and bring the Rangers to Dallas. Well, as soon as that happened, Arlington jumped on it pretty quick and got a deal together real fast to keep the Rangers in Arlington and build a new stadium. So something like that, that's not an example. That's more on a city level than on a sports commission
That's
level.
what I'm saying.
Whereas if we're trying to bring an event to AT&T Stadium, that's where we're working together.
Now, would y'all be responsible for something like the Super Bowl coming here, or would that be the Cowboys?
We are involved.
You are.
Are y'all involved with concerts and stuff coming up too?
All-Star games?
All-Star games, yes. We actually just did a bid last winter with the Mavericks in the NBA All-Star game for a year, but they didn't get it. But we worked with them on putting the bid together.
Now, like if the Rangers bring the new stadium and bring the All-Star game, would that be y'all or the Arlington Sports Commission? Or both?
I'm sure we would be involved at some point because Arlington, the hotel inventory in Arlington's not that big.
Yeah.
So, and if Major League Baseball wanted to do some type of fan fest, they might need our convention center because it's much bigger. So it just depends on the requirements and the needs of the event. So, yes.
I wonder one day work for the Dallas Sports Commission. What's a good way to get your foot in the door?
Do everything I just told you the last hour.
Connect with them on LinkedIn, yeah.
Networking, get things to put on your resume. Like I had a girl come up to me last year, she goes to Arkansas, and I'm looking at her resume, Arkansas Athletic Department, Arkansas Ticket Office, Sports Management Major. All 4 years she was in school, she was working for the athletic department. That piqued my interest. She's got experience, she gets what it is. So that would be the 1 or 2 things I would tell you is that. But yeah, I mean, sports, just so you guys know, sports commissions aren't really huge staffs. Right now, we're a staff of 6. We have an executive director, 2 salespeople. I do all the marketing and PR, and we have 2 event operations people. 2 people we're hiring right now will actually bring us up to 8, which will be the largest we've ever been. There are some sports commissions out there with 15 people. We're very lean, we're very efficient. You know, we do a lot more service-wise than a lot of sports commissions would. Like me doing the $2 million ad campaign for the NFL draft, I don't know so many sports commissions that could have people on staff do that, they would find their own agency. So, you know, we kind of pride ourselves on being as much of a one-stop shop as we can be for our event rights holders. Yes.
You said like Dallas Sports Commission is working on like sports source, do they, like what are they doing with them, just at venues or the venue?
No, so Sports Source, who you working, who you gonna be with over there, who you contact?
Lisa LaBelle and Team One.
Well, I know both of them, because I've dealt with both of them. So, Sports Source was in McKinney, their college showcase used to be in McKinney, they outgrew it. Now they're moving to MoneyGram down on I-35 in Dallas. So we work with them in securing the venue, MoneyGram. We work with them on securing their hotel block. Most of these events are what's called stay to play, meaning the event will allow to negotiate a rate with a hotel, a lower rate, and then if you're coming in, you're required to stay at those hotels. So, because that's how they get the rate, they guarantee so many rooms. So we work with them on that. We worked with, I worked with Dee and Lisa on doing a press release announcing the showcase was coming to Dallas. And I'm sure as we get closer to the first weekend in December when the event happens, we'll be doing some more stuff with them as far as helping promote on social media. They get a ton of coaches coming to that event. A lot of recruiting goes on there. It's like supposedly one of the biggest soccer recruiting events in the country.
And they're starting to do baseball too.
Are they?
They're trying to.
Okay. So yeah, so it's, you know, it's at the end of class now.
We're double blocked, so they got some time.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so that's what we're doing. Yes.
Which job did you enjoy more, like a separate business or like working for like a professional team or?
It's a good question. There's pros and cons to both. This job, I like the fact that I work with a lot of different organizations on a lot of different and varied events. There are days where I'm working on 7 different events in one day. A little bit here, a little bit there, phone call here, email there, you know, just like that. Whereas with the Stars, it was one organization, one group of guys, so there was a lot of consistency in what you did there. I like them both. I mean, and they, you know, like I said, they both have their pluses and minuses. When you're working for a professional team or a team, you know you're focused on that organization. In the job now, you're juggling all the time. And if you don't stay organized, you're gonna get hit by a truck and run over. Because they'll be like, where's this? Well, I asked you for this, well, you're supposed to have this for me. You've gotta stay, both jobs, any job needs to be organized. You really have to stay organized when you're dealing with multiple events, with multiple rights holders and multiple venues. I'll give you an example. So when WrestleMania came in 2 years ago, everybody thinks it's just the event that was out at WWE out at AT&T, the WrestleMania show that Sunday. They came in on Tuesday before, stayed through Monday, they're here a whole week. WrestleMania consisted of 16 events. There was Hall of Fame induction, there was Monday Night Raw, there was NXT show, there was WrestleMania itself, there was a Special Olympics flag football game, there was a Make-A-Wish pizza party with John Cena, there were hospital visits, all these huge different moving parts. So it's not just what happens on Sunday at AT&T. That was one of the last events. We've been going and blowing it all week, working on different events with them. So, and it takes over a year of planning for all those events to come off together. You gotta find the venues, you've gotta find, do you need catering, do you need this, do you need transportation? You know, there was a reading program that WWE did, we had to bring